After a triple header in Europe, it's time to head to Singapore. For the first time since 2019, we're racing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So in a week's time, we move over from Singapore to the Japanese Grand Prix as well. Then a 2-week break before a back-to-back with USA at the circuit in the Americas and Mexico City as well. Then a further 2-week break before the season rounds out with a doubleheader, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Sao Paulo, and then United Arab Emirates with Abu Dhabi to close out the 2022 season. Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship and it's his first chance to wrap up the 2022 season here this weekend. He leads by 116 points to Charles Leclerc in second and Sergio Perez rounds out the top three. George Russell in fourth then as well with Carlos Sainz fifth. They are the only drivers in contention to possibly win the title, but they will need an absolute miracle. It looks unlikely. For the first time in over a decade, Lewis Hamilton is out of a championship running position. Not since 2011 has that happened this soon. Lando Norris is P7 as well. He's holding off Esteban Ocon. Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly wrap up the first half of the drivers' page. Kevin Magnussen is level on points as well in 12th position on the second half of the table. Sebastian Vettel is 2 points back. He's leading with Daniel Ricardo. Mick Schumacher moves up to 15th place as well, a point clear of Yuki Tsunoda. Zhou Guanyu 17th with Lance Stroll 18th. Then comes the three Williams drivers. Alexander Albon has 4 points. Nick de Vries putting in an amazing achievement last time out, getting 2 points. Nicholas Latifi, now dropped from Williams at the end of the year, is still pointless. Can he get a point for the end of the season? And Nico Hülkenberg 22nd after only winning 2 races at the start of the year when Sebastian Vettel had COVID. And in the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way on 545 points. Then it's Scuderia Ferrari in second place as well. They are rapidly being caught by Mercedes. Alpine then are in a battle with McLaren, although look like they've got that just about sorted. Alfa Romeo have pulled away from Haas, who are now only a point clear of AlphaTauri. Aston Martin are trying to join that fight, and Williams now have 6 points on the board. The rain has been falling all day. Let's see what Free Practice 3 has to offer for the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's take a look around the Marina Bay Street Circuit, a 3.152 mile circuit, 61 laps ahead of us as well. It was Formula One's first ever night race and is still the most demanding on the calendar. Good exit out of turn 23 and launch down towards turn number 1. It's a flat braking zone as well. The first 3 corners really do surprise you and always gives us a great start to the race. 1 and 2, hard braking zone towards turn number 3, a third gear, second down. Now move up, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear as you rattle through down now. Raffles Boulevard, open up the DRS, 8th gear maximum as you hurtle down towards turn 7 at Memorial Corner. Great opportunity for an overtake as well. A perfect chance to mess up and go straight into the barrier. Now the track tightens up in towards turn 8, 9 and 10 as you come past Stamford as well into this run down past the Raffles Hotel and down now towards the Singapore Sling. Into the corner, quick flick to the left, back on the power before the new modified complex as well as we go over the Anderson Bridge into a very tight hairpin down at turn 13 and looking for some. We've seen overtakes there aplenty. Downhill then with the third DRS zone as well towards turn number 14. Slap on the brakes from 7th gear. Down to second gear, control the exit as well. The car can easily rotate around you on here as well. Back then into 17 and 18 now through the Esplanade. Back where Nelson Piquet crashed deliberately back in 2008. Underneath the grandstand as well, it's a vibration that is felt lap after lap. 19 and 20 coming up then as well through these very tight chicane. You get so close to the exit wall here. Drivers often flirt with danger. Flip it through turn 22 and 23. 2 left-handers to finish the lap and across the line. And that is a lap at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a very wet and a very miserable Singapore as well, with us being so close to the equator. The rain has started to come down as well, as Murray Walker would say, not by the bucketful, but by the oceanful. It resulted in qualifying for the W Series that took place 25 minutes ago to be abandoned. Thankfully, the rain has lifted ever so slightly. It's still heavy rain, but it's not as bad as it was, which means we may see the start of qualifying, of practice 3, which is great news indeed. As things stand as well, there's a lot of work to do. Now, hopefully, if this works, yes, it does. Brilliant. This was the results of practice 2 yesterday. So it was Carlos Sainz who was the fastest, Leclerc was second, Russell was third, Verstappen was fourth, Hamilton was fifth, then with Ocon sixth, Bottas was seventh, eighth on the board was Alonso, ninth Perez, 10th also was Stroll on the board. Second half of the page, that saw Norris 11th, Vettel 12th, Magnussen 13th, Gasly 14th, Zhou 15th, Albon 16th, 17th for Tsunoda, 18th as well for Ricardo, 19th Schumacher, and 20th on the board for Nicholas Latifi. That was the running order as things were yesterday. Now, hopefully, if I press button 0, okay, Josh, quick, put your full screen camera on that you had, because I haven't got time to edit as well, because Josh is with me now as well to talk about all the action that we're seeing as well. There we go, perfect. The safety car, Josh, is currently doing laps around the track, and the rumour is that we're going to have at least a 10-15 minute delay to the start of this session, and it could be even just a 45-minute one. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen, but this isn't good because this level of rain is anticipated tomorrow as well in the race.
Yeah, it is, and I've got some information from race control. Session will start on time.
That's fantastic.
But pit exit will remain closed.
Okay, so you can go back to your normal camera now, Josh, as Synthor joins us as well. Good morning to you, Synthor. We're just getting ready for the start then of this session. We're going to start it on time, but the safety car is going out there as well with Herbie Blash in the wheel, I can see as well. You watched the W Series qualifying, Synth. What's your anticipation of the track level circuit we've seen?
It looks very dangerous, and I was surprised they didn't throw the red flag earlier because it looked so dangerous, and they just kept it green. And yeah, obviously 2 cars then aquaplaned off, and then red flag got deployed. But well, maybe the conditions have improved now. Let's hope so.
Absolutely.
So we can see some running.
Well, here's your coverage details for this weekend then. We will be on now for practice 3. Qualifying's at 1:30. Tomorrow you can join us 8:15 for MotoGP, 9:35 for W Series, and 11:45 for the Grand Prix. Race starts at 1. Let's head upstairs then and get ready for the commentary for practice 3 from Singapore. It's time for a wet session and a lot of filling. Hopefully you've all made a cup of tea and are standing by with us. It's time for practice 3. Well, the rain is coming down here in Singapore as well. After a dry 2 sessions yesterday and a predicted rain throughout the weekend, it's finally arrived here on Saturday, and it looks to stay as well. The rain cloud that was predicted to move away before qualifying has now set itself firmly above the Singapore Marina Bay Street Circuit as well. 23 turns around this circuit as well. It's a 3.14 mile circuit. That's 5.063 kilometres. 61 laps. Lap record is is a 1:41.905. Expect to rocket that up to about 2 minutes in the wet weather conditions. It's a flat circuit as well, 5.3 metre elevation change, which means the water sits on top. Pirelli did bring the 3 softest compounds, the red Pirelli Soft C5, the C4 Yellow Medium and the white C3 Hard, but we're going to be needing not even the green stripe intermediate, we're going to be needing the full blue stripe wet tyre out here on the circuit. It is absolutely horrific conditions as well. Alongside me in the commentary box is Josh and Synthel as well. Air temperature is at 26 degrees, track temperature 29, humidity 90 degrees. Let's say a quick hello to those on Sky Sports F1 with David Croft, Nancy Davidson, Porter Resta, and I will introduce the team once again over here. Morning, chaps.
Essential that the drivers get out there to gain some experience of these cars around this wet circuit.
Yeah, there's more water coming from the skies than there is out of the mouth of the Merlion that you just saw. That is the current conditions here, and well done to the 81,000 or so fans that are packing the circuit here. There's not many, if any, covered grandstands here.
Yes, that is true, and I can tell that because our friend SHT has just messaged saying, hey mate, I have not entered the track yet, waiting for the rain to stop. And I think, gentlemen, in the commentary box with Josh and Synthel, we'll go to you first, Synthel, that's a very wise decision. The rain is awful right now.
Yeah, I don't think they can start this session just yet. That shot we just saw is incredible. The rain is absolutely falling down, and it's way too dangerous for the drivers so far. And yeah, obviously the fans that are outside there now, yeah, well done for them.
Now, what is going to happen is, from race control, that the session will start on time. It will begin to tick down, but the red flag will come out and the session will stop. So it will not be a green flag. It will be a red flag at the end of the pit lane, just to let you know, due to the weather conditions. Carlos Sainz's car looked not even prepared for this session because I don't think we're going to get much running either when they do go out as well. I presume as well, Josh, you've been looking a little bit at the weather forecast. You usually get your notes set up around there. Any chance of any good weather today, or is it all literally just water, water, water?
I think it's just going to be water, water, water today.
Ugh, even worse. And even worse when we haven't got anything to talk about as well, and the track is literally just flooded.
And even worse, I don't think there's a Singapore track on BeamNG.
We're really struggling for content then with nothing to do as well. We'll have to throw down to the pit lane quite a lot and hear things as well from driver interviews as well, and we'll hear what Christian Horner had to say. We'll talk about the cost cap and everything as well, and all the news that was breaking this morning. Christian Horner saying as well that if these rumours didn't stop as well, he's honestly thinking about taking legal action about the teams that have said Red Bull were in the cost cap failure. So 35 seconds until the red flag comes out. That's a weird sentence I never thought I'd say. But the pit lane exit, the session will start, but the pit lane exit will close as well.
Are we back in pre-season testing when there's a scheduled red flag or something?
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it, as well? Because last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, it's a red flag situation. But look at that. Pit lane exit is nothing because I'm just being told as well, Will Buxton and Jolyon Palmer up in the F1 TV commentary box, I believe it is this weekend, are just now filling, and they're in Singapore as well this time. And the red light stays on, the session starts, and the red flag comes out at the end of the pit lane. So the session is now stopped as well. Because free practice 3 is a scheduled session, it has to start and the clock to tick down. Let's hope we get some running. But either way, gentlemen, we're going to be standing here for an hour talking about something because the session started but the red flag is out.
Yeah, I guess. Well, but if the rain, if the weather doesn't improve, what will they do when qualifying can't go ahead today?
Well, SHT says, I checked the weather report for qualifying. It says an 18% chance of rain for the start of qualifying later. But we've got sunset, so how quick is the track going to dry with the humidity levels quite high as well? So we're going to wait and see what's going to happen as well. Let's hope we get a qualifying. If not, I presume we just sort of stand around waiting for qualifying to happen at any time. Let's see what Ted's got. He's in the pits. Morning, Ted.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
Hello, Crofty. I have neither of those things. I have neither a jacket, nor wellies, nor an emergency poncho, nor any of the other things you suggested. In fact, I am so much following FIA rules, even though the session is started, but the pit lane is closed, that I'm not actually getting me umbrella out. So when the session is on, you're not allowed umbrellas because they say it obscures people's views of the cars coming down the pit lane. It's a safety thing. But given that there aren't going to be any cars coming down the pit lane, or at least if they are, then they're not going to get out the end of the pit lane, I could, I suppose, argue that I could put up my brolly, but I'm not going to do that, Crofty. I'm not going to do that. Professional.
Not with thunderstorms around, Ted.
There aren't thunderstorms around. There are not thunderstorms around. It's just
There
raining.
were?
Well, not in the pit lane.
I heard a rumble. I mean, could have been Ant's tummy. He was hungry.
Anyway, well, listen. It's quite a creative. I mean, for those of you who are kind of rules geeks about the way FIA conducts Formula One weekends, this solution is quite novel, isn't it? To actually start the session, to have the clock running, but then select pit lane closed. It's quite a novel solution, actually. I don't remember it being used like that, Crofty. Do you?
I can't remember it being used
in recent years.
No.
Certainly when Michael Massey was race director, I don't think he ever did this. So a nice idea from the race directors, and it certainly solves the issues that you had were talking about before in terms of keeping the schedule going. Now, what about this rain? How long is it going to last? Well, in fits and starts, it could stop. The radar does suggest that we've got bright patches. I think you can see them down here, hopefully, on our camera. There is a yonder down towards the first corner, and then off towards where Changi Airport is, the international airport down here. I see clear skies. All right, not blue skies, but I do see no cloud and clear skies. So there are little patches where there isn't rain that's going to fall, and then it's a matter, of course, of getting the track to drain a little bit. There are some issues with these holes in the concrete that form a lot of the, well, certainly the pit wall where they get picked up by forklift trucks, and the perimeter of the circuit. A lot of water is draining back through those holes onto the circuit. We saw that earlier in the day. So we will see whether that means that some parts of the track don't dry as fast as others. But obviously when it does stop raining, we get a little bit of heat, then it dries out very quickly. But yeah, well, we'll have some fun. It's terrible this weekend, Crofty. Not much to talk about in a session like this when there's no cars running. What on earth are we going to talk about? No stories going around.
All the hot air for the paddock would have dried the track out, Ted. Have you seen Joe Bauer, the FIA's technical policeman, the man who makes sure all the cars are compliant? He was walking very close to you a few moments ago down the pit lane. Have you seen him?
If I was talking to you and addressing the camera, no. Or was he wearing some emergency poncho I need to know about? Or
he didn't have an emergency
investigating
poncho.
somebody or other?
Guess what he was carrying in his hand?
What?
Well, what
An
should
umbrella.
he be carrying?
An umbrella.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, right. Oh, well, he's the FIA. He can do what he wants.
No, Ted, he's going to have a chat.
Listen.
Otherwise.
Oh, and he's whacked the gantry.
I say it now.
He's whacked the gantry.
Now you don't need an umbrella. Now I promise you it is not raining. So
I promise you it is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right outside our car.
Look behind you, Ted. There he is.
Behind
Oh, there he is. He's
you.
behind me. There he is. He's got his umbrella. I think Joe, knowing the good FIA rules man that he is, he's just taken it from his hotel room. Pan Pacific Singapore.
It is actually a hotel
Probably
one.
a nice hotel. I'd never know.
Yeah, it's lovely, lovely this time of year.
But yeah, being the man who governs the FIA rules, he clearly thinks that if cars aren't going to be going out, then that rule about no umbrellas in the pit lane is rather.
Well, someone get Ted an umbrella then,
While you're
quick.
down there, go down and see Alex Albon. He's got a new crash helmet for today. And
Oh,
it's
he's
a
taking it down
beautiful,
now.
Wonderful crash helmet as well. And
Well, he's taking it down now, and it looks to me, gentlemen, that Jacques Villeneuve has the same umbrella. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct, but it looks to me that he does actually have the same umbrella as they're in the paddock. And what do we talk about, I wonder? Should we talk about Danny Ricardo, who's on the screen? His first job was as a cafe waiter as well. His favourite movie is Friday Night Lights, and his fun fact is he has 21 tattoos as well, apparently. That's a great driver profile to have there. But the Honey Badger doesn't seem to be in Formula One next season, but he has got something lined up for 2024. Rumour is replacing Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. First of all, Synthel and Josh. Synthel first and Josh, do you think Hamilton will retire in 2023?
No, I don't think 2023. 2024 might be possible. I just don't see Ricardo at that seat, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think Lewis will retire next year. I think he'll try to give it another shot at the 8th title, hoping Mercedes will have figured it out a little bit more, and that the car will be faster and more competitive. But yeah, I don't know if Ricardo will be at Mercedes.
I'm not too sure either, Josh. What's your opinion on it as well? Because that's what he clearly said could happen, and he's the big boss. He knows something. But Ricardo as well, a possibility maybe not being in that team next year. What's your opinion?
Daniel Ricciardo in Mercedes, sign me up. But Lewis Hamilton retiring next year, possibility if Mercedes don't sort out their issues, because we've seen a couple of stuff with Mercedes, Hamilton and Mercedes, Hamilton leaving if Mercedes aren't. And there is a Sky Sports umbrella.
Hey, is that for Ted? Have they finally got one for Ted? Well, it looks like someone's finally having the sensible ideas out there on the track as well. I'm just trying to get this working so that it'll be rotate 90. It's flip horizontal. There we go. So that I can actually sit down in the commentary box and not have to stand up, and everyone can still see me on the camera angles as well. The magical things you can do with a laptop. Let's have a word with Christian Horner then with Sky.
It's the first time this season Max could win the championship. He's been driving brilliantly all year. You turned the season around from the start of the year when you were unreliable and the car was overweight, and now we've got to this point on the verge of a second world championship for him, where the only subject in the paddock is you and your team and budget rules. What's going on?
Well, do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think there might be a little bit of a campaign to discredit what the team has done, and is
at the very point that you could win the world championship?
Well, it's somewhat suspicious timing, and the thing that confuses me, I mean, obviously there's been some extremely deflammatory remarks that have been made. The submission between the team, or all the teams, and the FIA is a confidential one, so I have no idea what the status of any other team's cap is.
Well, let me stop you there. Toto Wolff says it's an open secret that two teams in the paddock.
Then I would love to know where his source of information is, because I have no idea on the condition of Mercedes' submission or Ferrari's submission. So one has to ask, where is that information? How does he think he knows what our submission is? Our submission, we believe, is fully compliant with the regulations. It has to be signed off by our auditors way back in March, which obviously was done. They're one of the big three. But of course, it is the first year of these budget cap regulations, and there's a process with the FIA that I hear we've been under investigation, for example, for 6 months.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to put to you. Toto's accusations, he was quite clear yesterday. He was surprised that you're not especially expecting any fireworks, as he says Red Bull have been investigated already for the last months and weeks. Can you just respond to that?
I mean, we heard from the FIA 10 days ago asking some questions for clarifications, as you would do in a standard audit. Now, that I don't think is a 6-month investigation. In fact, most of the time that we've had visits, they've been en route from Brackley. So, anyway, was frustrating and somewhat disappointing that have these, at the end of the day, very serious allegations made against the team, the people. And when I hear that, Mercedes have taken the pain of making 40 redundancies, that's 50% less than 50% of the redundancies and the pain that we've been through at Red Bull Racing. It's fictitious, and we're extremely disappointed. I was pleased to see the FIA came out and said that they're in their process. No results have currently been given or provided. So let's follow that process and see where we end up.
We'll see where we go. Do you accept, last thing on this, do you accept at least the importance of the financial regulations, the budget cap, to the integrity of the competition in Formula One, that it means something on track, that it sticking to the rules on the budget cap means something on track in terms of sporting equality? You accept that principle?
The principle, yes, but of course you have to look at how regulations have been applied. Now, we know one team has, for example, had a change of its accounting process of how it deals with heritage parts, for example, that was different to the regulations. So, of course, in the first year of a set of very complicated regulations like this, there is always going to be different interpretations, and that's where the FIA, have taken their time to work through this, and indeed are still doing so. So, I've heard some ridiculous numbers being mentioned, which is, again, where does that come from?
Yeah. The papers at home, the Daily Mail says that Max could lose his championship from last year over this.
But it's totally fictitious. I think the FIA have come out and made very clear that they haven't even concluded, their process, and they're in their process. So, how can anybody make that claim? I mean, it's ridiculous. So, it's disappointing, and the scale of the comments that have been made, you can only see it as a way of trying to discredit everything that we've done, both this year, and last year, and even talking about future years. I mean, it is appalling that these comments, go without any kind of retribution.
Well, Christian Horner there, gentlemen, as well, very much on the basis that they've done nothing wrong. They've been questioned about the auditors, which is apparently a standard procedure. But we all know that something else is going on because two teams have gone over the budget, one by a little, one by a lot. So my question to you is, if Red Bull are found to have been over the budget cap, is there going to be more... I don't want to say... Is there going to be more pressure on the FIA because Christian's come out and basically has lied to everybody if that's the case? It is two questions as well. One, is this going to be more than it seems? Two, are we going to see more ramifications for Red Bull in the future? Who wants to go first on that one?
Well, I just think it's bad from maybe one. I'm not sure who's right here, because if it is from Red Bull did actually exceed that limit, then I think it's really bad. Also from the FIA that they just couldn't have checked this earlier, because it's so late, so near the end of 2022, and they finally come out with some sort of this drama. Or if it's not true, then it's bad from the teams who told them, or all the speculations that they have exceeded, and just it's again just all this drama for just some those annoying political things,
Josh, your take on all this drama with Catgate or Cashgate, whatever we're calling it these days?
I just don't know where to start. There's so much going on.
There's too much, and it doesn't make any sense either way as well. It always just has a little bit of a bizarre feeling to it as well. And look at some of the fans as well. That's a fantastic hairdo on that young lad there as well. That is fantastic. The amount of the quiff he has, that's fantastic as well. Carlos Sainz just walking out into the middle of the pit lane as well, looking like he's getting ready. We're in a little bit of a patch here where the rain isn't coming down. Air temperature is 26 degrees. Double yellow now in sector 10. As you can see, flashing up. Go on,
basically everywhere there are double yellow flags, because a lot of marshals on the track trying to clean to try to get the water off the track. So I think they're really doing their best to try and start this session, because I think it has mostly stopped raining, or at least it's not raining heavily at all anymore. So I think they're really trying to start the session.
It is in track sectors.
All of them, isn't it?
5. Yeah, literally all of them.
I mean, Josh is scrolling down the
18,
messages.
6, 13, 17, 15, 8, 16, 12, 2, 14, 7, 6, 7, 3, 9, 10, 11. Literally all of them.
If I press this button, we might be able to see some of them on the board as well. Flash up on the monitor. They are just in the corner. But yeah, you are right. Yellows in all sectors, as you can see. That's the messages we get up here in the comms box as well. So Current situation, we are waiting for a possible green light at the end of the pit lane. Right now we've got yellow flags in all sectors. The pit exit is closed and we are waiting for this session. I mean, looking for this camera angle now, guys, as well. It looks like the rain has stopped, so there is blue sky, so the rain is gone. And it is 6:16 local time, and the sun's already going to be beginning to set, but this is the best we've seen it for a while now.
Yeah, and that's also very good news for qualifying, unless it's going to start raining again later on. But it does look good, so let's hope we're going to see it. Still more than 40 minutes to go in this session, so I'm sure, and they'll go out on track a lot, I suppose, if it's going to be green flag.
Track temperature is now at 29 degrees, air temperature 26, 89% humidity still, so it's not 110% yet. No rain expected for the next 30 minutes, according to the weather forecast systems at the moment as well. And I'm taking a look at some up here in the comms box as well to try and see if there's any weather radar errors, and at the moment can't see any outside the track, so that all looks good to me. I don't need to turn it off because otherwise it freezes the cameras as well, so we might get this session restarted shortly. Look, there we go, look, you can see that's the camera we're using at the moment. It's just the time. Okay, this is the FIA statement then. The FIA is currently finalising the assessment of the 2021 financial data submitted by all Formula One teams. Alleged breaches of the financial regulations, if any, will be dealt with according to the formal process set out in the regulations. The FIA notes significant and unsustainable speculation and conjecture in relation to this matter, and reiterates that the assessment is ongoing and due process will be followed without consideration to any external discussion. So the FIA is still looking into it, and they know we're now talking about it. That's all they say there. But if they do find something, I think we're going to see shortly as well what will be that factor if they have it. As we look above now, people still in the swimming pool. Well, it's a heated pool up there as well, so it looks quite good, as I've just received a text message which is worrying me that I've got to go into the commentary box. So we will hand over to Sky F1 quickly.
The cost cap.
Got something, by the way.
Oh, go on, Synth, then.
It says pit exit estimated to open at 18:30.
So that's in 11 minutes' time. So we might get this session going. Okay, let's hand over to Sky F1 quickly to talk about the cost cap, then we'll be back with us.
Because well, we just haven't got the expenditure to do that. So that does make me think that the pecking order as it is going to take an awful lot longer to close together if teams can't develop the brilliant minds they've got because they can't spend the money.
Most of your time, your lap time gain in Formula One is via aerodynamics. It's the best bang for your. It's the best kind of performance gain you'll find for money spent is in the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
And the wind tunnel time is also limited, but on a sliding scale. This is so. Looking at Haas on screen, they had 100% more wind tunnel time than Mercedes, for example, last year to develop this car we're looking at. So it's no surprise, really, that they have a better car this year. And that works. I like that sliding scale. It's almost a bit like a balance of performance, if you like. So that, in theory, should help naturally to bunch the field up. But there's no point having that sliding scale if you can't, therefore, spend money in the wind tunnel. So I don't know, look, it's very new. We've never had this cost cap in Formula 1 before to this extent, and I do feel like it can be improved for the sake of the show.
Yes.
So they're all about the cost cap being improved then for the show, and everything should be fair and easy and equal as well. But just had to run in, we just had to give a NatWest bank account code as well, which is always fun as well. But I'll tell you what, guys, as well, we've got an estimated pit lane open in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. But the cost cap, it was tried to come in 2010. It failed. It resulted in the eventual demise of Marussia, Caterham and HRT. HRT went first, Caterham or Team Lotus went second, and Marussia or Manor, or Virgin, Marussia, Manor went third. as well. And it's designed to make sure that everybody is playing fair, but it's one of the most unfair systems in Formula One because the cost cap is both higher for lower end teams, and then right at the bottom for Red Bull and Mercedes and Ferrari, it's lower. It's designed to try and bring everything forward, but it doesn't make sense, the cost cap, and neither does the prize money. It's all sort of linked together. So my opinion, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well, is restrict the cost cap as well from 147 million to 150 million for everybody. Everybody gets 150 million to play with. And then you get extra track time for teams who finished 8th or lower in the Constructors' Championship. Now, you might be saying, why is that? Well, that worked in 1998 till 2004. Everybody who finished 8th or lower in the standings got extra track testing. They got a half an hour session before practice 1. So you add half an hour onto practice 1, restrict the first 30 minutes to the lower end teams for development, and then have the rest of the normal session. That way, as Sky go on a break, that way you've got complete fairness across the board for development and wind tunnel, and you bring the gap down in terms of on-track development. What's your thoughts on that? I don't know who wants to go first.
That's a good idea. As you said, it worked.
It does, yeah. The early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, the early 2000s, it worked. But cost caps, prize money, just money, finance in general in Formula One is so hard to get around. Extra track time, like it would be an hour, back to the normal hour and a half
for
practice session for, let's say, Williams, of course, and
it's just something like that.
There. Yeah, so
Haas, it'll be AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, and Williams if it was on this season basis as well.
Yes.
They get extra development time. I think they're the 3 teams that sort of need it as well. What's your take, Sims, as well on extra track time?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. But with the cost cap, I think it's just very important. They just gotta try to find a way to actually be able to check it, because how it's going now, it's just a bit annoying, to be honest. But yeah, I think that the track time is obviously a lot more easier to check. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And our take on engines then, because we've got 3 engines per year, the internal combustion engine. Everyone always goes over that limit. I think with now 24 next year, possibility of 25 races coming up soon, we should really be having 5 engines per year, because that's a nice block, isn't it? That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5 races, 5 engines, you change over. I think that's a fair block at the moment. Maybe even 4 if they can do it. But I think 5 is a nice block for 5 races, change your engine, 5 races on. And I just don't know.
If they keep 3 engines for 24 races, it's not going to be fair on the teams.
I mean, how many races is that? 7, 14, 21? It's more than that. So it's 8, 16, 24. So it's 8 races for 1 engine. We used to have 8 engines per season. And we had 17 races in the V8 days. I mean, why is it that with the most complex hybrid engine ever, we're slimming down?
Exit will open in 5 minutes, confirmed.
Yes. So it's going to be a half an hour practice 3 if anybody wants to go out there on the circuit. That is also the question.
If it's going to be raining tomorrow, I would go out now.
Oh, what's happened here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. I think they will go out a lot. I think everyone will go out for the whole 30 minutes.
I think so, because if it's a wet race, as I agree with you both, we need to get out there and we need to have some sort of session in order to see exactly what's what and who's who. So, the Singapore Grand Prix 3rd practice session will be underway shortly as well. And I'm just trying to have a look and see if we can hear from any drivers yesterday in the gap. But I think Sky are just coming back on air shortly as well. Max Verstappen is starting to buckle up as well and get his helmets on and fireproofs, pit exit will indeed open at 18:30 as well, which is 6:30 as well. Alexander Albon's helmet is out there as well, a brand new helmet, and Ted has got the news on it.
There is. So at the back there, you see anime Alex with 23 his number on the back with his arms around the kids, and it's I forget the name of the children's home in Thailand, but maybe you have it up there. But this is where the red hair started. He went and visited this kids' home, and they all said they have fun around there and they dye their hair different colours. And he said, "I tell you what, I'll put some of the dye in my hair, dye my hair red, and that will be my lucky stars." And he started scoring points. So I think that while the red dye has worn away, he did score points. But that's his special helmet for the kids' home in Thailand.
Thanks, Ted. Always nice to hear. As the action comes forward, session is going to start at 18:30. And it looks now, guys, completely different than what it did even 20 minutes ago, as well, as the red flag and yellow flag has now been rescinded from the track. Pit exit will open in 2:33 as well to start the session. And look at that, Singapore, home of F1 night racing. Well, it was.
Imagine someone has a big crash now and we'll end the session.
Yeah, I really, that's what happened in the W Series as well. Two drivers went off the track. Belen Garcia and Abby Eaton went straight on, and the rain was so heavy they had to throw the red flag. Well, we've had a half an hour fill, and now we've got a half an hour session coming up. Everybody's going to head out on the track. I think they'll all go out to begin with on full wet weather tyres. Then we might see them go out as well for intermediates. I'm just having a look here as well, because we haven't got on the T feed our timing screens working at the moment, and it is a bit of a worry as why it's not on, because it hasn't been on for 30 minutes, to be fair, and I'm worried about it because it's out. Josh, is the T feed working for you, or is it stuck on the end of practice too?
Have a look.
Yeah, session's opening 1 minute 10 as well, because I've got the results on two different screens, on two different computers. I've got it stuck on FP2, but if that's my internet connection,
yeah, it's still on FP2.
Okay, so the T feed has crashed up here in the box as well. People saying too wet, we have to race as well. Maybe balls are getting ready, but Mylander says it's okay out there at the moment, just a little bit of danger. Okay then, guys, time for the session to get going for pre-practice 3. Qualifying coming up later. Synthil's joining us in the box for that as well. I'm very much looking forward to that, Synth, as well, having you in the comms box. Is it just this weekend, or is it something you can do more often now?
I think just this weekend, but I'll try to join more often if I can.
Well, pleasure to have you as well for the week, as well as you come forward. So hopefully it'll be fantastic quali. It looks like it certainly might be with the wet weather we've got coming in. So 6 seconds left on the board. The red flag gets rescinded, and it is finally green light, and away we go for the start of practice 3 for the Singapore Grand Prix of 2022. We've had to wait half an hour, but finally the track is safe enough that we can head out there and get the action going. So they've lost a crucial 30 minutes of development. Well, now hopefully we're going to see a very action-packed session. The track could be drying enough, ready for qualifying later. We've got zero idea when it actually will be ready. So, anybody's got the guess. Let's take a red flag prediction. How many minutes in? Synth?
I'm going to say we're not going to see any red flags. Just a very, very bold guess. Maybe a lot of yellow flags with people taking the run off, but I don't think we're going to see a red flag.
Wise. Josh, what about you?
15 minutes.
Oh, okay. So halfway through the session, you're going to think that we'll have a red flag. Perfect. Let's hope we get it good. Look, there's the fire damage from Pierre Gasly's car. They've buffed it away as much as they could and wiped it off with some Kleenex probably, but it's still there.
Oh, it is open now. We see a couple of cars are going out.
I wonder if we can get some sort of Canada situation, sort of for qualifying, that one is going to try and go for slicks at the end. If it's not going to rain anymore, we might see a dried up track at towards the end of Q3,
Yeah,
possibly, and then it's going to be who's going to take the risk first.
Like the likes of Alonso as well, trying to go through there, see if that works out. No cars currently heading out on the track. Nobody wants to be the first out there. I was just hearing some team radio. Hopefully you could hear it as well in the ears as well, saying it was coming from Ferrari, saying that the green light is on at the end of the pit lane, but we are not going out just yet. So they're all just sort of staying still. Hopefully we'll have that. I think it was going from Sonoda as well, so that's another team radio. Cars! We got cars!
Car.
Gasly.
It's Gasly coming out, yeah. And he's on the full wet weather tyres, and we're finally underway here in Singapore as the night lights start to take over the track illumination. And now we're going to see something we've only seen once before. Rain in Singapore. And the ability to see the amount of spray that gets kicked up under the lights as well. Gasly's gone out there on the full wet weather tyres as well, which we thought he might. And look at that, there is actually a car out on the track, which is fantastic news. We've opened up the telemetry as well. We've highlighted him coming through the chicane. And it looks okay through the first sector, but sector 2, when it starts to tighten up, guys, look at that. There's a lot of standing water in sector 2.
Yeah, definitely. And with the W series, it was especially as well sector 3, where it was raining very heavily. So, well, we'll see if it's going to be any good for Gasly now. It should be fine, otherwise we wouldn't be racing now.
Yeah, he's just so tentative coming in towards Singapore Sling. Flicks it in. Car looks okay to me. Now onto the Anderson Bridge. This is a different segment of the track than what we used to, of course. It created a new corner for the Anderson Bridge. And over to turn 13, hairpin. A lot of standing water there. That might be a worry for acceleration on opening laps. He's still struggling at low power as well, so it's not exactly the greatest track conditions out there at the moment, but fingers crossed we'll get it sorted. I think now people have noticed that the T-feed is not working, so hopefully it can be repaired in this one, because it's stuck on practice from yesterday.
I can't imagine 20 cars on the bridge in lap 1 tomorrow with the rain.
I know. Hands up if you think we'll have a red flag tomorrow in the race. I think it will.
Yeah, me too, especially with the rain. Yeah, maybe because of the rain it's too wet, but I suppose we're going to have an incident. And with the street circuit, it's obviously a bigger chance of a red flag, because it could be very difficult to clean it up, or maybe a track can get blocked if 2 cars are very unluckily crashed out somewhere through some tight part of the track.
You have to
here Gasly finally starts his lap.
Right, Tsunoda's gone out there too, just ahead of him, but Gasly is the first one then to do a lap time. We've opened up his telemetry data. Look at that, it was purple through sector 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, 2 and 3. Let's see what he's like on this lap, obviously. Careful a little bit out of turn 1. He's got his teammate ahead of him to provide him with some slipstream, but that's going to mainly cause the spray. And it was a 1:41 the time we saw yesterday. We could be seeing, as Bottas enters the track as well, we could be seeing a bigger problem with visibility, because it's going to hang in the air and the lights are going to shine on it as well. So it's a 31 in the first sector as well for Gasly.
I think if it rains tomorrow, if it's wet for the whole race, if there isn't even going to be a safety car, they might not even be able to finish the race within those 2 hours, are they?
Yeah, 2 hours clock with these conditions, 2 minute 30 lap times. What do you think, Josh?
Sonoda, Bottas, Ricardo, Stroll, Zoe, Vettel, and more coming out on track.
Yeah, they're all now leaving the pit lane, which is fantastic news. So this will be another opportunity to really shine. We've got no live time. We've got driver tracker, but the timings have seemingly packed up as well. Won't start until the car has completed its first lap. Time not running either. So they have realised now the T-feed is broken, even though I said it about half an hour ago. But Gasly's second sector is good as well. I wish I could tell you what it was, but it's not flashing up on any monitor as things stand.
A 51.073.
Thank you, Josh. Into the tricky section. This one here, down where Piquet crashed in 2008, there's a lot of standing water here as well, coming underneath the grandstand section as well. So that's alarming me a little bit as well. As he's got loads, you can hear it, so much torque under acceleration as well into turn 21 and 22. He's pushing, but the car just keeps on twitching underneath him. What's the first lap time then? For Pierre Gasly, crossed the line, nearly losing at the last corner to 2:09.894. So 61 laps, a 2:10 lap time. We will not finish the race tomorrow as things stand.
Yeah, it could be a calm lap, of course.
Yes, hopefully. This is Gasly again on the replay. SHT says, I'm at the track now, preparing to go to the grandstand. Good luck. And make sure you've got an umbrella. At turn 9 and turn 10 section. So you are at Singapore Sling area on the track. That's a great part of the circuit. As Valtteri Bottas now is at turn 1 and 2, and this is his radio.
Okay, Valtteri, how is the track?
Yeah, it's okay. No big issues with the standing water, so I actually think already inter is better.
Oh, brave words from Bottas, saying he thinks the intermediate is better. That's a brave call, to say the least.
So they waited to dry the track enough, so it's enough for inters or what?
It looks like it, yeah. It's pretty standard, actually, isn't it, for Formula One? Wait so long, then get the intermediates out. We never, and look, full wet's going out, but we barely use the full wet tyres. It's a bit of a joke.
It is, because they really don't want to. They don't want to send them out if it's enough for wet tires. They think it's already too dangerous lately, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because but if they make it a green flag, then it's already sometimes enough for intermediates. Ooh, Ricardo on the white line, you saw him a bit of a snap of oversteer there.
Yeah, Ricardo's really struggling.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
No big issues with the standing water, so
Bottas.
I think already inter is better.
Just about heard over the team radio there. Ricardo's first sector was purple, so he's gone faster than Gasly as well. Yeah, so it looks like the timing is not reliable.
Verstappen enters.
Hey, Max is going to be brave out there as well. And, okay, my bet, Max Verstappen first push lap into the wall. So, yeah. I'm being told that the timings have gone offline for F1 as well, so it's a FOM issue. So the timing screens work on the F1 app because they work on a different system. The T feed is what we get directly from the FIA, and it has gone funny. So that's why we haven't got any correct timings at the moment.
Good thing I'm watching via the via the F1 app.
Gasly's going to box for Inters. I hope you heard that over the radio. So Gasly's boxing for intermediate tyres. Ricardo into the last corner then, cross the line, fourth fastest at the moment, goes second. 9/10 off the pace, it's a 2:10.874 on the board. So the the T feed just has literally crashed, so we'll wait to see if that works. But we have got lost for everything else.
Gasly is out on inters now on the track.
Yeah, and this is Ricardo's slide, isn't it?
This was his little moment oversteer.
Hits
on
the
white line.
Yeah, as soon as she's on the white line, exactly as you said, just the rear just steps out massively. Did he have a second moment going into the tunnel? He did, and he did well to save that one as well. Coming out of turns 18 and 19 in the Marina Bay section. Oh, look, intermediates for Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc taking the inters now as well. Well, this is going to be very entertaining stuff as they come through. As this is Alexander Albon now with not... Oh, wow. Twitch over the Anderson Bridge. Oh, and Sky Sports F1, we have 7 minutes of running and they decide to go for an ad break. Isn't that great as well? Yeah, thumbs up. At least Synthol has got different pictures, and Josh and me have got the pit lane channel to focus on. But we're a little bit behind on live pictures, but thanks, Sky. But interesting to see that Charles Leclerc is going indeed for those intermediate tyres. And I'd love to tell you what Verstappen's lap time is at the moment, but he's at the last corner. Let's see if I can highlight him quickly. He's 16th at the moment, and he's just about to start a flying lap. So we've highlighted Verstappen then on the driver tracker.
A couple of notes. I think he'll be into this already. That's the thought at the moment. Just standing water. There's some rotation. Yep, I agree. Doesn't hurt to stay out just for the confidence on the wets. Copy that.
That's Albon saying, I don't mind staying out there just for the confidence on the wet compound tyre. And he's out there now, he's 9 tenths down. So Verstappen then is on a lap time, and then he's coming out of turn 5 and into 6 and 7 down Raffles Boulevard towards turn 7 as well. Let's see if it will be a good first sector time. It's only a personal best on Verstappen. What can you see, Synth?
It's a good sector, isn't it? 6 tenths faster than Lando Norris, I think. The 33.392.
So he's got some time back there at least, Verstappen. Albon is sliding massively at the moment, but he's come across the line and he's gone from P13 to P6. Verstappen's just entering the Singapore sling now, and hopefully as well it's going to have a better situation. On to the Anderson Bridge. Second sector point is after turn 13, and Latifi looks to have stopped, or he's going slow, and Verstappen passes him. So I hope we haven't got a yellow out there, because Latifi, yes we do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
yellow.
Yeah, Latifi's I think crashed into the wall coming out of turn 13, because he's come to a complete stop out there as well, has Nicholas Latifi. So he's got going. No, Latifi's vanished from the driver tracker. So we've got no clue what's happened. Well, I'm looking on board now with Verstappen as he was approaching that sector.
Bonin continued at turn 13, Latifi.
Yeah, just got it. So I'm looking now with Verstappen to see how it happened.
He's gone straight on.
Right, so he's had to reverse it out of the chicane then. Because
it's at the little hairpin after the bridge.
Yeah, there's the yellow.
Just gone straight on, locked up front right.
Right, okay, yeah, there it is. I'm just seeing Latifi now finally on the board as he gets going again. Yellow sector 2 looking good. And Verstappen goes fastest. What's the time, Synth?
2:06.872, 1.7 faster than Carlos Sainz in second.
Okay, so it is definitely time for intermediates then to be the correct decision, as we've got no timing at the moment. Oh, hello. Timing might just work. Coming up in a second, which is fantastic. As Verstappen almost hit the wall coming out of turn 21 as well, so he's really fighting hard.
Gasly with a good lap now, 7 tenths quicker than Verstappen again, 2:06.115 on the intermediates as well.
Okay, Inter's definitely the tyres to be on then, as we get our TV pictures back from F1 coming up now as well, which is a massive relief. Let's take a look at Latifi's spin then on the first circuit first of all. So
look at my steering wheel when I brake.
That's Latifi saying.
Like 9 o'clock. It's not normal,
Here is Latifi.
Look at my steering wheel when I brake. My left hand goes to like 9 o'clock. It's not normal, guys. Yeah, I can't drive like this, guys.
Okay, so there's obviously something wrong with Latifi, and this was Leclerc coming out the pit lane and struggling to get ahead of the McLaren guys as well. But we're back now with live TV pictures, as well as Perez now on a lap time coming through as well. So Gasly's top, 2:06.115. Verstappen second, Sainz is third, Schumacher fourth, Norris is fifth, Albon sixth, Ricardo seventh, Magnussen eighth, Tsunoda ninth, and in 10th position is Bottas as well. Okay, we've got a fix for our driver tracker problems as well, so we're just getting that sorted with a temporary timing screen. So we'll be on the battle camera. Question to you both as well. If it is a wet qualifying, who do you see taking pole position in the race? Because it could be a great leveler for Mercedes.
I do think Hamilton and Russell will take the P2 and P3.
Josh?
But I don't think Verstappen is going to be fast enough to take that P1, to take pole.
Thought you might say that. What about you, Josh?
If If Verstappen takes pole, which is likely, but also both of the Mercedes, and Christian Horner's down on the pit wall.
Let's go down to him.
Yeah, as you can see, it's clearly enters. So as they're just circulating, doing more laps, the water's shifting and the tyres generating a bit more temperature. So yeah, you can see the tyres really starting to come in now.
Christian, what are we expecting for the weather to do in the next couple of hours? Because you guys will be more across it than we are.
It's a tricky one. I think there's a bit more rain around, and so it could well rain again before quali, and then pop up during quali. So yeah, it's sort of all around us really.
And for the race tomorrow, I'd imagine rain is not what you want. You seem to have things pretty much under control in the dry currently, and rain just adds a factor that you could probably do without.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think we've only ever had, from memory, one wet start to a race here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't really want it, particularly this type of circuit. But maybe I'm sick for the fans. It would be electric. So you know, it's the same for everybody. Let's see what the weather throws at us tomorrow.
Just talking of electric or maybe magnetic interference, have you suffered any issues? We often get, you know, cars having weird issues here in Singapore because of underground trains, magnetised steel wheels. Has everything been all right with the cars so far?
No, we thought we had something when David Coulthard was driving for us years and years ago, but no, touch wood, everything seems pretty functional at the moment, so which is good to report.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian, thanks ever so much indeed. While we were talking to Christian, I think Schumacher wanted to get going, was told to stop the car.
I think there might have been a problem with the right.
Oh dear, so Schumacher's had to stop the car out there, guys, as well, so something to keep an eye on for what's wrong with him. Now, we have a temporary timing tower in operation here from the F1 app. Apologies if you can't read it that correctly. It's all we've got up here as well at the moment as they come through. It is Verstappen, top, Gasly, Perez, Leclerc as well on the board, and fingers crossed we're going to have an interesting couple of sessions. But Sainz P9 at the moment as well. Can he get further up the order today in these wet conditions? He's gone well at Silverstone when it was a wet qualifying as well. Do you think we could see him take another pole position? Pole 3 of his career, of course.
Stop the car, Mick, stop the car.
There's Mick being told to stop the car. That's very delayed, considering that he's now circulating again. But yeah, do you think we could see him doing something up there?
Yeah, we could, and just before Christian came on about the Max Verstappen pole, it's possible it would break the Ferrari, Mercedes Ferrari situation, but will be the first Red Bull to take a pole in Singapore since 2013.
So let's hope Red Bull can take pole.
Always a possibility. Bottas goes 6th.
Yes, I know, Synth, you're going to be rooting for Verstappen to take pole position as well later on. Do you think he's got it in him as well to take pole position number 18 of his Formula 1 career? Go match again with Charles Leclerc?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, he just got to keep it out of the wall. And if he does, I think he'll have pole.
Just next car behind is Perez, we're being told on the wall as well at the moment. We're lost our current timing screens at the moment here with FP3, with it being such a washout and a difficult situation. The timing tower on the T feed isn't working, so we are trying to fix that currently, and hopefully we'll have it back shortly. As Sainz does indeed go second, 0.060 off the pace of Verstappen with 10 minutes to go. That's an amazing time from Sainz to jump up from 9th position as well.
In a wet run on Singapore, and then only 0.06 between the top two. That's incredible.
So definite good times improving there as well, Josh, as they come back through. I think you had something to say.
Yeah, we saw yesterday in practice 2 the Red Bulls were far down, but they were only separated by 0.02 of a second. That was a good pit stop from Schumacher.
Yeah,
but the right rear didn't go on properly.
Oh, so a little bit slower than we thought, yeah. still improvements coming for sure from Haas. They've been getting better and better. Just didn't want to seem to go on, did it, guys? It took ages to actually connect together. That's bizarre. Like, look, the wheel nut just did. It was like it was bolted on, like it was welded, and the sides just not working. That is the strangest thing I've seen in a very, very long time.
That's indeed very weird. It's not really the wheel gun because they just kept the same one. Eventually it's worked somehow because he's out on track now.
Leclerc top.
Aha! Leclerc has jumped to the top spot now as well on the timing screens, with Verstappen second. But Verstappen, guys, on a fantastic middle sector and looking even quicker as he comes through in the middle section as well on those intermediate tyres. Can he now find the time he needs and have the pace? Everybody's willing him on as well. Out of the last corner now for Verstappen. Is it the fastest time of the day? Can he get it below 2 minutes 093? Yes, 1:59.456 for Verstappen. He takes provisional pole position.
Yellow.
Track clear. Yes, good.
Turn 8.
And Isaac says still not working. Yep. And don't worry, we've got a backup now just loading in. So we will have a timing screen in literally 30 seconds time because we've nicked it from F1.com. So just give us one more second and we will have it back as well, thanks to F1.com. Just got to get it all organised now because it's not set up.
As soon as you get it set, as soon as you get the backup timing screen set up, the T feed comes back on.
The T feed will come back on as soon as I get this one sorted. The T feed, it always does that. It'll just pop back as well. As I thought, Russell's coming to the line, guys. He's 20th at the moment. Does he jump top, or is this to start a lap time? I'm not entirely sure.
This is a 2 minute 6.587, puts him 14th, and third is Perez with a 2 minute 1.104.
Ted's got news.
In the car. He said normally he doesn't drink the drink that is in the car anyway, so he has to be reminded. Sometimes he gets back to the pits having not drunk the drink at all. Rather the opposite of Kimi Räikkönen way back when. But I don't know whether they'll not put the drinks bottle in the car for here, or if he feels he doesn't need it. But that's a matter for Sunday.
Wasn't it Malaysia, first year Lewis Hamilton raced there back in 2007? His drink system actually broke and he couldn't have a drink.
Yes, it did, back in 2007, yeah. Right, there we go. Look at that. Actual timing screens as well from F1.com. So thank you very much to them. Leclerc is fastest, a 1:58.899. Verstappen second, Perez third, Gasly fourth, Alonso fifth, Schumacher sixth for Sainz, seventh is Norris, eighth Ricardo, ninth Stroll, 10th Magnussen, 11th Bottas, 12th Ocon, 13th Vettel, 14th Zhou, 15th Albon, 16th Russell, 17th Schumacher, 18th is Tsunoda, 19th Latifi as well. So there is the current timing screen that we've got working for you from F1.com, as Sainz does jump up to third, a 2 minute lap time there, 2 minutes .450, so good time on the board there. Well, actually, we might just stay with that if it works better than the T feed. We'll see if it does actually work, because we'll stay with that for the rest of the weekend. T feed has let us down massively this weekend. Driver track hasn't worked, and neither is the thing.
Got a yellow.
Yeah, where's this? Yellow has gone out and come back in. Right, okay. So it was a quick yellow.
Look at that. Leclerc, a 1:58.899.
Yeah, Russell ahead doing 6.5.
Mega fast. Latifi was off track and continued. Yeah.
A 1:58.919. 200ths separate Leclerc and Verstappen.
Latifi was off track and continued as well. That's the reason for the yellow flag. So he's had yet another off. Lewis Hamilton last at the moment. First sector was a 33.501. Second sector 49.160. Let's see what this last sector is going to be as he rattles round now out of the last couple of corners. Can it be faster? Will it be faster? Is it faster? Is the question we need to ask ourselves. And I think at the moment he stands a really good chance of making it fast. Out the last corner now. And the perfect thing is this driver tracker is perfectly in sync with the TV pictures we're watching. So it's even better for us. Hamilton goes 19th. And Albon jumps to 14th. 2:03.557. Nice time there. So this is... I can hear Jack Nicholls on my radio and it's bugging me because the audio's on for Jack Nicholls. So I can't turn it off. So if you hear Jack in the background, it's not coming from us, it's coming from everybody else. But 4 minutes to go, and Leclerc fastest on a 1:58.899. Didn't expect that one, to be fair, on the board. And this is Yuki Tsunoda down at the Singapore Slings, guys. Has he locked up, or what's happened here? He's behind Lewis Hamilton. Oh, let's hear from him, actually.
Copy, Yuki.
What is this guy doing, honestly? So Lewis has obviously held up Yuki.
Calm down.
To be fair, I don't think he did anything wrong there, Lewis. Where do you expect him to go? Jump out the way or go upside down? It's not exactly the best situation, is it?
Oh, double lock up. Yeah, go straight on here. Yeah, well, maybe as Yuki, you can obviously, you need to expect it for the drivers to get out of the way. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Lewis was in a quick lap or anything. I'm not sure. Whatever happened.
Oh.
But yeah, he definitely should be calmer. Yes.
Incident involving
Unsafe release.
Schumacher. Pit lane incident involving car 47, Mick Schumacher under investigation for unsafe release. So Schumacher is now in trouble for something as well in the pit lane. Presumably, guys, that's the wheel gun effect. So it might be a fine as well.
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah, it was noted like 5 minutes ago, and now they've taken the decision to investigate it as Schumacher does a 2-minute 1.502, puts him 9th.
ninth on the board, which is a great situation as well. We were hoping it would be a little bit quicker as Hamilton goes 6th on a 2:01.220 as well. So great lap time there. Glad we finally got the timing screen or a timing screen back as well. Apparently it will work for quali. But that doesn't help us in the here and now as Leclerc looks fastest of all second sector. What's the time across the line? It's a 1:57.782. He's 1.137 faster than Verstappen. But Verstappen's had first sector at a 30.649. Second sector is a 46.584. What's the third sector for Verstappen then? Is it any faster across the line? It's a 41.075. He goes second by 0.5 of a second. Leclerc leads this practice session. That's amazing, isn't it, guys?
Oh. Makes a little bit on the extra turf on the extra turn 1. Made him slide a little bit. But the fact that we all haven't said Leclerc about the chance of taking pole position.
I've just realised as well.
Could he?
Yeah, go on, Josh.
Oh yeah, well, could he take pole Leclerc?
Possible. Although looking at it also, Russell's done all his lap times on full wet tyres. He has everyone else is on inters, so that's something to watch out for. Coming through.
Oh, he is.
I can hear Jack Nicholls behind my headphones now, and it's really bugging me. No offense to Jack as well, but it's the I can hear you in the background of my own commentary. There's Felipe Massa, 2002-2017 Formula 1 driver as well. 11 race wins, 41 career podiums as well. Is that a timing? No, it's not timing working. Okay, I thought it might be there as well. Still timing working. As they come through, Sky F1 has got its timings back as well. We have our timings as well up here for a basic session. We'll get it sorted as well. Let's hear from Charles Leclerc.
Is the engine okay?
On our side, everything is fine.
Downshift of turn 7, okay?
We'll come back to you. Did you feel any noise?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Copy.
Pretty weak.
You can keep pushing on our side.
Okay, so a little bit of a worry there, guys. It sounds like for Charles Leclerc with gears on upshift and downshift, he sounded a bit sceptical whether or not it was working or not. So that's got me a bit alarmed as well. As
Keep an eye out.
Gone?
Keep an eye out for Magnussen and Stroll battling it out, or Haas and Aston Martin. Stroll a 2-minute 1:336.
Checker flag is out, by the way. Session's over. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, Magnussen a 2-minute 1:316. Stroll a 2-minute 1:336. Again, just 200ths separate the two.
What do you think of the session then, Synth, as well, that we've had as Sainz goes third?
It's been a lot calmer than expected, to be honest. It's with only a few yellow flags. I think all of them have been for Williams guys.
you were
2000
right.
TV and once album.
Yellow sector 3 now as well. I don't know where that is just yet. Track temperature 29 degrees. Double
Turn
yellow.
18.
Yeah, double yellow
Is
sector
Gasly?
15.
Oh, it's under the.
Gasly's
Is he
under.
gone straight on or in the wall?
I presume he's gone straight on if it's down there. If he's,
Yeah,
if
it's
it-
green.
Yeah, green flags. If he's just gone straight on. So clear now in sector 15.
That's turn
Finally.
18.
Yeah, so sector 15, turn 18 on the circuit is our one marshalling points. Underneath the bridge. Let's take a look at how it happened as well. This is where PK crashed to just lock him and go straight on. Oh, no, he did. Oh, he nearly hit the wall there. But yeah, off track and continued at turn 18, as since said. And gets it going once again. So nice session there as they come through. Everyone's taking the checkered flag, and this is usually when I will debut my graphics as well. But we haven't got the graphics set up for F1.com timing, which I think I might have to do a backup for now, as it's set up for the T feed, and the T feed hasn't worked in this session at all. It's literally just not worked, which is very unusual as well. Is it working on any of the browsers? Not we working on Chrome. Nothing on Safari either, to let people know.
Nothing on Opera GX.
So it's just crashed. So, well, hopefully it's working for qualifying. But if not, we have got the backup of the F1.com app as well, which is always a handy feature as well. So everyone's taken the checker flag then. Max Verstappen ends this third session second fastest. Tip for pole position then, considering that everyone's joining us, as we just see George Russell into turn 7, locking up and having to go straight on, and that brought out the yellow flags as well. So then, guys, tip for pole position. We'll start with you, Sid. Who's going to take pole?
I'm still gonna say. Oh, would you know that? Oh, so close to the wall there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say Verstappen. Gonna take pole position, but it's gonna be very, very interesting. I think we also gonna, if it's gonna be a wet qualifying, we're gonna maybe take a look at Fernando Alonso, who's in P4 now at the moment as well in this practice session, as they're doing practice starts as well, with wet race expected tomorrow as well. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a very mixed up grid possibly if it's gonna be wet.
Josh, who do you think is going to take pole position?
I would like to see a Mercedes to continue the trend, but first Red Bull pole at Singapore since 2013 is highly likely. So Max Verstappen or a Mercedes.
Good points from you both. The TV is saying something over the radio, but I don't think we're going to hear it over the background as the 5-light procedure starts once again, as everyone gets ready to send it forward on what is a little bit of a damp track, but might dry out now for qualifying. Hopefully it does as well, as they come through. Leclerc coming back into the action then as well, leads Verstappen from Sainz, Alonso, Perez as well. I can't go to the results screen, unfortunately, or the battle computer, because it's not set up for that, and it's showing the wrong results as well. So that is Mick Schumacher sideways in his pit box on the grid, trying to take a launch at an angle. That's a unusual sight as Lewis Hamilton lines up as well in the Mercedes. Those inters look absolutely gorgeous as well. And you can see the heat haze in HD as well. The humidity is high here as well. So it should be quite good. Air temperatures at 26 degrees as well. Humidity is at 85% as well, as you'll see in a second. So the water vapor does get taken off quite quickly. Okay, here's the results then from Practice 3's Singapore Grand Prix. It's been one of the weirdest ones we've seen in a very, very long time. Half an hour only. Red flag for the first half hour, just the weather. And the T-feed not working, so we can't go to the results. But I'll read them out, and you've got them on the side. It's Leclerc fastest, with Max Verstappen second, and Carlos Sainz finishing in third position. That's timing screens getting on my nerves. Fourth for Fernando Alonso, fifth for Sergio Perez, sixth for Lance Stroll, seventh is Esteban Ocon, eighth Sebastian Vettel, ninth is George Russell, and 10th for Daniel Ricciardo. Kevin Magnussen is 11th, Lewis Hamilton is in 12th position, 13th as well for Pierre Gasly. 14th, Mick Schumacher. 15th, Yuki Tsunoda. 16th, Lando Norris. 17th, Alexander Albon.
Daniel, we're going to stop both cars entry.
And 18th for Valtteri Bottas. 19th, Zhou Guanyu. And 20th for Nicholas Latifi, as well, as we hear some more team radio coming through there as well. Okay, my thanks to everyone for joining us for a very strange free practice 3. We know it hasn't exactly been the one we all wanted. Josh and Cynthia will be back with me for qualifying. Megan Birch will also join us in the comms box, a full house for quali. I'm looking forward to that a lot as well. Join us then later on, qualifying from 1:30 p.m. Here on the YouTube channel. Tomorrow morning, MotoGP, that's at 8:15 a.m. W Series is from 9:35 a.m. as well. And then you can join us for the Singapore Grand Prix. Our pre-race show transmission begins 11:45 a.m. with lights out at 1 p.m. Well, thanks to Josh. Well, thanks to Cynthia. We'll see you both in an hour. And from us all here, thanks for your coverage, company as well. We'll see you later. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.